Hello trainers, Professor Palm here, and welcome back to We Are the Champions. Joining me today is the mastermind behind the series, Professor Sassafras herself.
Hello, Palm, and hello to you all, trainers. I'm glad to be back for another episode of the series.
Great to see you, Professor Sassafras. I'm so pumped that we're doing this again. A lot of trainers out there really loved your idea for a series, and to be honest, so did I.
That's amazing to hear. Just the thought of people enjoying learning about people within Pokemon such as champions makes me so happy.
So Sassafras, since this was your idea for a series, I think a lot of us want to know, out of all 11 champions that we've had currently, who's your favorite?
Ooh, that's a toughie of a question, Palm, since I got a lot of favorites. But I guess I had to say out of the top 3, the first would definitely be Cynthia.
Cynthia, huh? Great choice! I can't say entirely that I'm surprised, because Cynthia is probably one of the greatest champions of all time. All the build up to that final fight really makes you feel like you're taking on a legend. It really makes you feel like this is it. It's all or nothing.
She's got style, she's got grace, more importantly, she's got the strength, power, and reputation to back it all up too. Talk about a truly intimidating woman.
It blows my mind that Cynthia was the very first female champion, and if you ask me, she truly deserved that title, because when you took her on, it truly felt as if you were fighting a real champion. With that battle theme she has, and that encounter theme, it doesn't just sound like you're gonna take on the champion. It sounds as if the queen has walked into the room.
Tell me about it. She's what I believe to be one of the pride and joys of the Sinnoh games, and an important influence of champions after her.
Man, Cynthia is so powerful that one region was not enough for her. She's appeared in many other regions in the core series games. I gotta say, it really must be great to be a champion like her. Unfortunately for some of us trainers, we have developed a little bit of some PTSD, especially when we went to Undella Town in Pokemon Black and White and walked into the wrong house.
Don't remind me. I was one of those poor, unfortunate souls who stumbled into that house. I was not expecting her to be there of all people.
If you think Cynthia's an impressive trainer in the games, she's an even more impressive trainer in the anime. I'm happy to say that even after Pokemon Diamond and Pearl ended, Cynthia made several cameo appearances here and there in other series. Well, it is hard to keep a great champion down.
Exactly! It's awesome how she became such a well-known icon and staple of Pokemon ever since her debut. Speaking of, why don't we get this show on the road and get started talking about her and her team?
Yep, let's learn everything we need to know about the Queen of Sinnoh, Cynthia herself, as she's a one-of-a-kind champion. But before we do that, I want to give a very special thanks to artist HTTP Koopa for my shirt. This is Leon's champion jersey, worn by the Galarian champion, Leon himself. Since Professor Sassafras and I are talking on Cynthia, aka a Pokemon champion, I couldn't think of a better shirt to wear than this one. If you really like these jerseys I wear, please check out HTTP Koopa on Etsy. I have a link to his Etsy page in the description below. If you really like this shirt, or any of the other jerseys I wear, you can buy them from him. Also, he makes other amazing shirts, so please check out his Etsy page, buy a shirt from him, and tell him Professor Palm sent ya. I may not be sponsored by HTTP Koopa, but I still want to give him a big thanks for all he's done for the channel. And I hope that you really like his work as well. Well, Professor Sassafras, I am ready for this champion battle. But maybe you can tell us a little bit about Cynthia, like where she came from and how she became the champion, as well as a couple of tidbits about her. I think all of our trainers really want to know about the Queen of Sinnoh.
You betcha! Alright, let's get started and talk about Cynthia, the champion of Sinnoh. Cynthia is the champion of the Sinnoh region in the games Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, and the remakes Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Her first debut in the mainline games was the first 3 Generation 4 games, which were Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Her personality is that of an extremely caring person who is passionate about Pokemon. Your first encounter with Cynthia is in Eterna City, where she gives you the HM01, which is the physical normal move Cut, which can be used after defeating Gardenia. However, in Platinum only, after feeding Jupiter of Team Galactic in the Eterna building, she gives you an egg which hatches into a Togepi. Your next encounter with her is when you go to Lake Valor to stop Team Galactic from reaching the lake's guardian. Although, the lake had already been drained by the time you get there, seeing dozens of Magikarp flopping about. There at the lake, Cynthia gives you a secret potion which is used to help the Psyducks that have a headache that are blocking your path to Route 210. She then appears again and gives you an old charm to give to her grandmother. Her final encounter is when you have to face her in battle to become the champion of Sinnoh. But be warned, with just how difficult that battle is when Palm covers her team later on in the video. However, in Platinum, she appears on top of Spear Pillar with Cyrus being dragged into the Distortion World by Giratina. Then, during the postgame, she appears in Celestic Town ruins and tells you all about them. Now, Cynthia has plenty of appearances in other games such as spin-offs. As for more within mainlines such as Battle Towers, there's a few that are noteworthy to mention in detail. She appears in Gen 2 remakes Heart Gold and Soul Silver. She shows up in the Sinnoh ruins, which is a place created by both people of Sinnoh and people of Johto. She's there to further investigate Arceus' origins and the creation trio. She also has an appearance in Generation 5 in Black and White, where she has a summer house in Undella Town, that if you enter, she battles you with her team. Now that we looked into what she's like in the main games, let's check out what she's like in the anime. Cynthia, just like Lance, makes a lot of anime appearances, so I'll be going over the main anime appearance of this lovely and wondrous woman. As a heads up for future videos about other champions, it'll be the same case unless noted or mentioned. Now, her first anime debut was the Pokemon series Diamond and Pearl arc, which was actually first being mentioned by Lucian within a flashback in the episode An Elite Meet and Greet. Cynthia's proper physical debut was in the episode Top Down Training, where she's seen for the first time on TV battling Lucian with her Garchomp. She then arrives in Amity Square where she is studying ancient ruins, tablets more specifically. She meets Ash and his friends along with his current season's rival, Paul. They rush to Amity Square after hearing some rumors that Cynthia was going to be there. Paul was quick to challenge Cynthia to a full battle, which is the 6-on-6 Pokemon battle, which is quite rare to see in the anime. However, Cynthia won extremely easily. After the battle, she talked about how she used to be like Paul when she was younger, always so determined to win battles with the strongest Pokemon. Now, Nurse Joy was busy at the time after the battle, so Brock and Cynthia herself had helped heal Paul's Pokemon after convincing him to visit the Pokemon Center. Once this was done, she then returned to Amity Square Ruins, where she explains that there's writing here that means so much to her, and that was, when life meets another life, something will be born. This is something that Ash would think back to from time to time. Cynthia then decides, towards the end of the episode, to go to Celestic Town, and plans to study the legend of Palkia, Dialga, and the Lustrous Orb. Now that her anime appearance has been covered, let's now look into some fun facts and tidbits that you may or may not know about Cynthia. From what was covered previously, it's easy to see that Cynthia is a fanatic for all things history, mythology, and archaeology. She has been on record mentioning how she had a similar start to you in the mainline games, being mentioned of helping Professor Rowan with his Pokedex. Some Pokemon she owns, outside of her official team, are a Glaceon and a Kamo'o, which could be a reference to the Signasuit Cynthia in Pokemon Masters EX, which owns one. She also gave Ash the choice between the 3 starters in the Pokemon Legends game Arceus, which were Oshawott, Rowlet, and Cyndaquil in the Arceus Chronicles anime. She was also lent Brock's Croagunk and Blissey to help battle Team Galactic commanders as well. In I Choose You, the main character Verity has a mother very similar looking to Cynthia. However, this has been going on record repeatedly by the director Kunihiko Yoyama that her mother is not Cynthia. Not counting main characters, Cynthia has appeared in more episodes of the anime than any other champion. She also has the most known owned Pokemon than any other champion as well, besides Ash of course. Out of all the official battles seen in the anime, Cynthia has the longest winning streak at 704 episodes, from top-down training to whittle while you work. She has also met all of Ash's rivals apart from Gladion. Finally, Cynthia loves ice cream, and is almost always seen eating it. She's even seen having trouble deciding on what type of ice cream to order too. Well, I think it's time we move on to the champion battle. Time to challenge the Queen of Sinnoh for the crown and the throne. Tell us about the battle and how to prepare for it, and what we need, Professor Palm.
In Cynthia's championship battle at the Sinnoh Pokemon League in Diamond, Pearl, Brilliant Diamond, and Shining Pearl, Cynthia uses a team of 6 Pokemon, and this team includes Spiritomb, who in Diamond and Pearl has the ability Pressure, is at level 61, is female, and has the move pool of Dark Pulse, Psychic, Silver Wind, and Embargo, while in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, Spiritomb has the ability Pressure, holds the item the Citrus Berry, is at level 61, is female, and has the move pool of Shadow Ball, Dark Pulse, Psychic, and Sucker Punch. Roserade, who in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl has the ability Natural Cure, is at level 60, is female, and has the move pool of Energy Ball, Sludge Bomb, Shadow Ball, and Extrasensory, while in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, Roserade has the ability Natural Cure, holds the item the Expert Belt, is at level 60, is female, and has the move pool of Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, and Energy Ball. Ace Garchomp, who in Diamond and Pearl has the ability Sticky Hold, is at level 60, is female, and has the move pool of Muddy Water, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Sludge Bomb, while in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, Gastrodon has the ability Storm Drain, holds the item the Leftovers, is at level 60, is female, and has the move pool of Scald, Earthquake, Sludge Bomb, and Rock Tomb. Lucario, who in Diamond and Pearl has the ability Steadfast, is at level 63, is the only male on Cynthia's team, and has the move pool of Aura Sphere, Dragon Pulse, Psychic, and Earthquake, while in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, Lucario has the ability Inner Focus, holds the item the Wise Glasses, is at level 63, is male, and has the move pool of Aura Sphere, Dragon Pulse, Flash Cannon, and Nasty Plot. Milotic, who in Diamond and Pearl has the ability Marvel Scale, is at level 63, is female, and has the move pool of Surf, Ice Beam, Mirror Coat, and Aqua Ring, while in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, Milotic has the ability Marvel Scale, holds the item the Flame Orb, is at level 63, is female, and has the move pool of Recover, Mirror Coat, Ice Beam, and Scald. And at long last, the ace of Cynthia's team, Garchomp, who in Diamond and Pearl has the ability Sand Veil, holds the item the Citrus Berry, is at level 66, is female, and has the move pool of Dragon Rush, Earthquake, Brick Break, and Giga Impact, while in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, Garchomp has the hidden ability Rough Skin as its ability, holds the item the Yaki Berry, is at level 66, is female, and has the move pool of Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Sword Dance, and Poison Jab. In Platinum, Cynthia uses a similar yet slightly different team for her champion battle, with some changes to the levels as well. And her team members include Spiritomb, who has the ability Pressure, is at level 58, is female, and has the move pool of Dark Pulse, Psychic, Silver Wind, and Shadow Ball. Roserade, who has the ability Natural Cure, is at level 58, is female, and has the move pool of Energy Ball, Sludge Bomb, Toxic, and Extrasensory. Togekiss, who replaces Ace Garchomp, has the ability Hustle, is at level 60, is male, and has the move pool of Air Slash, Aura Sphere, Water Pulse, and Shockwave. Lucario, who has the ability Steadfast, is at level 60, is male, and has the move pool of Aura Sphere, Extreme Speed, Shadow Ball, and Stone Edge. Milotic, who has the ability Marvel Scale, is at level 58, is female, and has the move pool of Surf, Ice Beam, Mirror Coat, and Dragon Pulse. And of course, her star ace, Garchomp, who has the ability Sand Veil, holds the item the Citrus Berry, is at level 62, is female, and has the move pool of Dragon Rush, Earthquake, Flamethrower, and Giga Impact. All in all, Cynthia will always begin her battle with her Spiritomb as the frontrunner. Before Fairy type was introduced, Spiritomb was one of the only Pokemon next to Sableye that had no weakness. With just that first, Cynthia is already setting the stage of how much of an uphill battle you'll have against her. Also, every one of her Pokemon comes out in random order, so prepare yourself because this is going to be a battle like no other. On an interesting note, Cynthia was the first champion since your rival from Red, Blue, Green, Fire Red, and Leaf Green to use a champion team of mixed types. All other champions before her and after your rival used teams that was a primary type of 1. Lance used dragon types, but mainly flying type. Steven Stone primarily used steel type Pokemon in his fight, but he also added rock and ground type into the mix. And Wallace, when he was champion in Pokemon Emerald, used an entire team of only water types. It's nice to see Cynthia went down an unpredictable route, and many other champions followed suit after. Oh man, was that battle against Cynthia rougher than a Garchomp skin. With that powerful team and those strategies, I truly see why Cynthia reigns as the Queen of Sinnoh. So, when you go to face Cynthia at the Sinnoh Pokemon League, you're gonna need a game plan. After all, it's the champion battle. It's all or nothing. Well, here are some strategies that might just help you. Since Cynthia uses a team of mixed Pokemon, there is no one set move that can take out her entire team. This is a very rough battle. After all, this is the final battle, all or nothing. While there is no one set Pokemon, there are plenty of Pokemon and moves that can really help you in the battle, and they are Ice-type Pokemon as well as Ice-type moves, Grass-type Pokemon as well as Grass-type moves, Fire-type Pokemon as well as Fire-type moves, Electric-type Pokemon as well as Electric-type moves, and finally, Dragon-type Pokemon as well as Dragon-type moves. For best types to use against Cynthia in the champion battle, I'd personally say go with Ice-type Pokemon and Ice-type moves. Since her ace is Garchomp, a Dragon ground type, Ice-type moves will do ×4 damage to it. She also has a Roserade, who's weak to Ice-type attacks. But Ice-type Pokemon and Ice-type moves will really come in handy in Platinum, since she uses Roserade, Togekiss, and Garchomp. That's 3 Pokemon weak to Ice-type moves. You have half the battle won. Who knows, you might even get lucky and freeze any of those Pokemon solid in their tracks. I would highly recommend using Grass-type Pokemon as well as Grass-type moves. Since Cynthia uses a Gastrodon in her battle, which is a Water Ground-type Pokemon, Grass-type moves will do ×4 damage to it. Also, she uses the Pokemon Milotic, which is a pure Water-type Pokemon. So, immediately using Grass-type moves will help you take out 2 Pokemon very quickly. Fire-type Pokemon as well as Fire-type moves can also really help you in the battle, even though the Sinnoh region doesn't have a ton of Fire-type Pokemon. But if you use any of these Pokemon or Fire-type moves, this can really help you against Roserade and Lucario. Roserade, being a Grass-type Pokemon, as you know, has a lot of weaknesses, and Fire is at the top of the list. With Lucario being a Fighting and Steel-type Pokemon, it's weak to Fire-type moves. Also, Lucario being a Steel-type Pokemon does not have the best special defense, but pretty good defense. So, use a special attack Fire-type move, and you'll burn away the competition. Electric-type Pokemon as well as Electric-type moves can really come in handy against Milotic. However, in Pokemon Platinum, that's where I would recommend it the most. Mainly because Cynthia adds Togekiss to her team. Being at the time that it was a normal and flying type Pokemon, this also would give you an extra edge in the fight, as electric type moves can really get the sparks flying, as flying and water type are very weak to them. Also, if you get lucky with many of her team members, you might also be able to paralyze them with those attacks. Shocking, isn't it? And at long last, Dragon type Pokemon as well as Dragon type attacks can really help you in this battle. Not just against Garchomp, who is a Dragon ground type Pokemon, but also against a lot of Cynthia's Pokemon. Mainly for the fact that Cynthia's Pokemon don't have a lot of moves that are super effective on Dragon type Pokemon. Well, maybe some of them have Ice type, and when you fight Cynthia in Generation 8, some have Fairy type. But back in the day, Dragon was the best way to go. Not just because it was super effective on her ace, but because it has a lot of resistances. I would recommend using Fairy type Pokemon as well as Fairy type moves. However, Fairy type did not exist until Generation 6, thanks to Professor Sycamore's research in the Kalos region. So, if you're playing any of the Generation 4 games, there is no Fairy type. However, we can use Fairy type as long as we play Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Not only can we be super effective against Cynthia's Garchomp, but we can finally stick it to Spiritomb. After all, that was a Pokemon that had no weakness for a very long time. Every move we had, it would laugh in our faces saying, I have no weakness. Well, thanks to Pixie Power, we're finally going to take down that forbidden Pokemon very easily, once and for all. Well, let's review. When taking on Cynthia, she has a team of mixed Pokemon. Well, none of the Pokemon we have can take down all of her team. Every one of these Pokemon, as well as types of moves, can take down many team members. And the Pokemon, as well as type of moves that we need in the battle, are Ice type, Grass type, Fire type, Electric type, and Dragon type. However, if you're playing Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, you should also add Fairy type. Use everything I said, and you should be golden. One move that I would highly recommend maybe adding to your team is Attract. Mainly use it on your starter Pokemon since they have a very high chance of being male. Almost every Pokemon on Cynthia's team is a female. So if you get Attract a hit and Cynthia's Pokemon are in love and can't attack you, this can really slow her down and give you a big advantage in the fight. Even though Cynthia's Star Ace Garchomp is a very powerful Pokemon and is the stuff of nightmares, as well as has very good EVs and IVs, it's actually hiding a major flaw. And Garchomp's major flaw is that it's a very hands-on Pokemon, or I guess in this case, a very claws-on Pokemon. It only has physical moves. It doesn't have a single move to raise its defense, special defense, speed, or even special attack. Pokemon with the ability Intimidate can also really help you in the battle, mainly because Garchomp only uses physical attacks, and the more you send them out, the lower Garchomp's attacks will fall. However, in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, it does have the move Sword Dance, which does raise its attack. However, Garchomp is often very aggressive and likes to defeat its foes, that it's not that often that Garchomp will use the move Sword Dance very quickly. For items, remember, this is a champion battle. You're going to need a lot to help you for this fight, as it's the final battle, and the champion has a lot of strong Pokemon. So I would recommend buying yourself a lot of Revives, a lot of Hyper Potions, Max Potions, Full Heals, and of course, Full Restores. But I would not stress enough how important it is to get Full Restores and Full Heals. The main reason why is Cynthia's team has a lot of poison type moves. So yeah, you may end up poisoned. It's good to make sure that you can heal off that poison and keep going. Oh, and be careful about Milotic. While it doesn't have a single poison type move, it does have the move Ice Beam, which could freeze you solid. Just beware of being frozen solid by Milotic, as well as getting poisoned by Garchomp's Poison Jab, Roserade's Sludge Bomb, and of course, Gastrodon's Sludge Bomb.
Man, isn't Cynthia just an amazing trainer? There's really no wonder she's a champion after all that.
I agree with you all the way, Professor Sassafras. With a powerful and unpredictable team of hers, Cynthia really keeps you on your feet and pushes you to be the very best, especially in this champion battle, where it's all or nothing.
Not to mention just the reputation and prestige she's built without the team too. But just seeing her or her Ace Garchomp would surely make anyone feel a pump of adrenaline, whether out of fear of battle or excitement of battle is the true question.
You know, looking at Cynthia's team, I realized something. I see why Cynthia dresses in all black. She's getting ready for a funeral, and it's for you and your entire team. Because if you walk in unprepared for this champion battle, you are going down faster than even Garchomp can move.
You're telling me there's a reason taking on Cynthia takes such careful planning, especially since she's one of the most threatening Nuzlocke run killers if you don't have a plan or a proper counter to her extraordinary team.
Cynthia is incredible. With those skills and that amazing team, I'm not surprised why so many people love her. When you take her on, you have a true champion battle. You can't even be mad when you lose, because you truly did lose to the best.
Yeah, and when you do beat her in battle, it's all the more satisfying as she puts up such a fight.
Hey, Professor Sassafras, before you go, maybe we should ask all the trainers out there a few questions on Cynthia and other champions.
Great idea, Palm. Be awesome to hear what the trainers have to say.
Well, trainers, when it comes to Cynthia's champion team, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the champion team she uses in Diamond, Pearl, Brilliant Diamond, and Shining Pearl? Or is Cynthia's Platinum team where it's at?
If you took on Cynthia, how was the battle? Was it a hard uphill battle, or did you know what to expect and was it easy? Did you emerge victorious for the first time, or did you lose and it took you a few times to claim your victory?
Do you still get the chills whenever you hear any of Cynthia's themes play? Especially when you walk into the wrong house at Undella Town in black and white?
Do you think Cynthia is a great trainer in the anime? And did you enjoy her sticking it to Paul in her battle, one-shotting him with Garchomp?
And out of all 11 champions we've had currently, from Kanto to Paldea, who do you think is the best champion, and who do you think is the worst champion?
And if you were a champion, would you have a mixed team like Cynthia, or use a single type? What would you use, and why?
I'm glad that you started this series, Professor Sassafras. I had so much fun covering Cynthia with you. I hope to see you for another video, or another champion video. Till then, take care, my friend.
You as well, Palm. I hope we collab soon too. I also hope you and all the trainers out there have an awesome day.
Catch you later, champ! Well, trainers, if you liked what you saw, please leave a like. If you have any questions, you want to answer any of the questions Professor Sassafras and I threw out, you want Professor Sassafras and I to cover another champion or another Pokemon line, or you want me to cover something else Pokemon related by myself, please comment. And as always, if you liked what you saw and you want to see more, smash that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, future champions, and I wish you the best in all of your champion battles. Palm out!